recovery right now. This kid is amazing.
Diving to knock that away from McDaniel at the goal line. That would have been a touchdown. I actually said touchdown because I thought McDaniel was wide open.
It was wide open. It came a little late, and the reason why it came a little late is because the boys up front are actually having a problem blocking this triangle torch team. I mean, A.J. Hammond, Tyshawn Henderson, these guys are having a problem with this torch defensive line.
3rd and 10 from the 21. Eubank will throw left corner to McDaniel. Touchdown, I think. He went right through the pads. Did he catch it? The official comes over to look. They confer. No, they're going to say incomplete.
Oh, they're saying incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
Oh, my goodness. And the crowd is, oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
This is getting rowdy.
He caught it when he went through the boards. The problem here is that McDaniel, after catching the ball, or almost catching it, went through the pads into the triangle bench.
Was it a catch?
And they do not know. The officials are conferring. They do not know if he kept control of the football. We'll see the replay. We have the benefit of the replay on the big screen. He brought it in initially, and then looking down here on the floor, I don't know if he kept possession of the football.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, they keep messing around with what is a catch and not a catch in a lot of these leagues. So I'm not exactly sure if that's a catch or not. I know that he had possession as he was going out of bounds. I don't know if he has to keep possession going to the ground or not. But it was just turned over. It was just...
It's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown.
Atlanta Havoc have finally put something on the scoreboard with 6:32 to go. Here in a third, a 21-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback Eubank to McDaniel, and the Havoc have 6.
Well, he had the ball in his possession and 1 foot down before he went out. I'm not exactly sure how many feet need to be down in American Arena League, but usually that's pretty good in college. If you have 1 foot down, you're in bounds, and you have possession.
McDaniel and Eubank, their first score tonight, obviously. Extra point coming up from the kicker, Jed Solomon. McDaniel will actually hold. And the officials are still conferring as Chris McKinney, the head coach of the Triangle Torch, is pleading his case.
He is livid.
Well, initially, the officials did not sprint over to see if McDaniel had kept possession of the football. They were late getting to the scene. And then once they got there, their initial call was an incompletion.
But they were out of position, and I think that's the question that
I think you have to stick with the incompletion call there.
Yeah, I think so, if you're out of position to make that call. Even though the replay seemed to show that there was a catch with 1 foot in bounds, I'm not sure if that they could overturn that call.
McDaniel catching the football and then moving through the pads into the triangle bench, actually out onto the concrete floor here in the Buford Arena. It's a 21-yard touchdown. Chris McKinney not happy. The official says, I can't help you much. 13-6, but here's Solomon with an extra point attempt. Can he make it a 6-point game? It is up, and it is no good.
No good. Wide.
He's wide left. So Solomon now misses.
That was a critical one, too. Mark that miss down, Jim. They needed that point.
The score remains 13-6 with 6:32 left to go here in the third. But an acrobatic play, nonetheless, by Ryan McDaniel, the offensive leader of the Atlanta Havoc, gets his team on the board. We're here in Buford on the American Arena League Game of the Week on Sports Radio America.
What's my bright reason for choosing Bright Health? The $0 copay plan I chose means my husband has zero excuses not to go to the doctor. Bright Health, for all the bright reasons. See what you can save with their surprisingly low rates at brighthealthplan.com.
This is the American Arena League Game of the Week, presented by Dish Network. Call 877-309-7474 to watch the best sports, drama, and entertainment anywhere, anytime. That's 877-309-7474. And now, it's time for some pass-rushing, bone-crushing AAL action.
One of the corporate sponsors for the Atlanta Havoc. Give them some love here as we tell you about Pruitt Heating and Air. When you adjust your thermostat and nothing happens, at that point you need something honest and reliable to repair it. Pruitt Heating and Air are those people. Honest, dependable, and reliable. 3 words that are the epitome of the definition of Pruitt Heating and Air. It is now 13-6 as both teams are on the scoreboard. It took a long time for Atlanta to get there. As a matter of fact, 2.5 quarters. But they are finally there. And an update from the Final Four. We have a final score. Michigan has won the first game in the Final Four tonight, 69-57. Just a monster drought by Loyola of Chicago did them in. With 12:35 to go, they were up 8. It was Loyola of Chicago, 41-33. And at that point on, it was all Michigan. And then a lot of fouling at the very end. And that's your final margin of victory for Michigan, 69-57. Now we'll wait and see Kansas or Villanova, who will be the opponent for Michigan in the national championship game on Monday. And to be honest with you, Kansas or Villanova, I could see at the beginning of the season. But this Michigan team is a team that's done it with defense this year. And just grit.
If you love history, head over to YouTube and check out Blogging Through History. Hosted by Mineral Ridge High School graduate Chris Mowery, Blogging Through History visits historic sites to explore not only the well-known figures and events of the past, but also compelling stories that maybe you've never heard before. Chris would also like to wish his niece Amira Emsch and the Mineral Ridge Rams the best of luck for a successful 2023 season.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Motive Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Malutic_live. And remember, our fans come first.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Ohio high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat?
It's that time again when all we want to talk about is football. High school, college, and pro football. There's one man set to bring it all to you. It's time for Just Football with Matt Emsch. Matt was a first-time AP All-Offensive Lineman with the Ursuline Irish and three-time national champion with Youngstown State. And now, here's Matt.
And welcome to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emsch. Welcome to another week closer to the football season, everybody. And oh boy, do we have a great weekend for you, Youngstown, Ohio, specifically. This weekend, an alliance at Marlington Stadium. If you want some football, you're going to get some semi-pro Mahoning Valley. The Mahoning Valley Federals is going to be playing a scrimmage against the Ohio Gladiators at that high school, and it's going to be really good. And we are looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Hold on one second, guys. I got a wire coming out here. And we are extremely excited, guys, to be the official radio station of the Mahoning Valley Federals. Just to let everybody know, if you are looking to support the team, to have your business represented during these broadcasts, which will be on westernreserveradio.com, specifically Channel 2, which will be City View Sportscast, you can call me, Matt Emsch. You can get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger. You can also call the radio station and get a hold of me there. The slots are filling up, everybody. You definitely want to get your business represented. You want to represent the Yo and this new team that I think is going to, right out of the bat, be a very competitive and very strong football team. They have nothing but local players. Of course, they're going to get some guys from other areas, but you know what? It's going to be phenomenal, and I can't believe that I'm going to be on this Saturday calling a semi-pro football game in the second week of May with my high school partner, Matt Lipsack. What's funny is there's a guy that's doing video on Facebook Live, which you'll be able to see these games on Facebook Live this season, everybody. His name is Matt as well. So when we're all together, it'll be the Matt, and Matt show. So we have a caller calling in. We have Mark Means, our own Mark Means, on the line, and we're going to get him on in 1 second. Just let me get this connected here, and we will bring Mr. Means on. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. Sorry, we had a wire that was not connected, but everything is good now.
Good.
So I was just talking about on the air that here we are, second week of May, and already this Saturday on this channel, on Channel 2 City View Sportscast, we're going to have some semi-pro football with the Mahoning Valley Federals. I mean, nothing more you could ask if you're a football fan.
Right. It's one of those where we just kind of made it through the draft and rookie mini camp. So, it always gives us a nice summer of football fix. And then you throw in the fact that it kind of gets your feet wet, gets you ready for, calling your first high school game come, mid to late August.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and we're super pumped that we're going to be the official radio station for the Federals. And as I was just saying to our listeners out there, I really mean this. I'm not just playing, a smoke blower and being nice. I think that this is going to be a situation that, and I apologize, everybody, for my dog in the background. I'm doing this remotely. I think Amazon just rang the doorbell. So, I really believe they're going to be competitive. I talked to John Galbraith today, the owner, and he was talking about the players that they have. And he said to me, Matt, you know what? I'm not just, trying to make us sound good to you. We've got some really good players here, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. And just to let everybody know real quick before you respond, we have the head coach and a player calling today after you get off here.
That's the thing. Look at the Tri-Point Football League has really grown over the last couple of years to the point now where, it's set up in a two-tier situation, a top tier and a bottom tier. And I believe the Federals were an expansion team last year. And things just from one year to the next, that's from year one to year two, it is always a huge improvement.
It really is. And we were talking about them not too long ago about, what we thought, because, they have a shorter season. They have 8 games. Then their playoffs start. And of course, they have their championship. Now, the last time we had a semi-pro team here is when the Western Reserve Scourge was here, which you and I know very well. And Jim Craven, owner of the station, was part owner of the Scourge and a player, and Coach Gessler was coaching. They got a championship. So, people are looking for that type of situation to pop up here. We win championships out of this area, and this is a hotbed for coaches and players, and we're going to expect nothing less for this team.
You look at, the history of semi-pro football in the Valley, and you mentioned the success with the Scourge, but you go back, to the Mahoning Valley Hard Hats that were very successful, and they drew huge crowds for their games. And there was always an interest in football here in the Valley, and I'm curious to see how things go here in year two. You're going to get a look at them on Saturday when they have their first exhibition game, and then you and I will be together for the season opener, come with that Saturday, June 1st.
Correct. And it's going to be here before you know it. And, the cool thing for everybody out there, not only are you going to be listening to us call semi-pro games, we're going to be getting our practice on and shining up our shoes a little bit, so to speak, and be ready for high school right after. But let's not rush things. I'm super pumped that not only do I get to have, my regular high school partner back, Matt Lipsack, I get my other partner, Mark Means, who you and I called games high school for the first time ever this past season with Mineral Ridge. And I'm looking forward to doing it with you. And, I really do, like I just said, I think we're going to be surprised by what we see.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a busy start to the calendar because, we also carry the Cleveland Cobras games on Western Reserve Radio, and that's tier 1 in the Tri-Point Football League. So I will have the season opener with you on the 1st. Then I'm going to slide over to Western Reserve Radio. Dave Clark and I are going to fill in for Jim and Bob, who will be vacationing that week. And we'll have the Cobras game the following week on the 8th. So we're going to have a lot of Tri-Point Football Conference action covered on, Western Reserve Radio's products.
And you just mentioned the Cobras on July 13th. The Federals are going to have a home game versus the Cobras. So we're going to have a double header here on Western Reserve Radio, with the Cobras game being called with Jim and whoever is doing, the game with him. And then it should be Coach, I would assume, but if not him, you. And then
Lipper and I have kind of tentatively worked out a schedule, and you know how schedules are made. They're made to be changed.
Correct.
Tentatively, that day looks like if all falls into place, it'll be you and me for that game.
Lovely.
But, it's one of those where, that game's going to be a lot of fun because we already have a lot of established relationships and friends on that Cobras coaching staff. Owner Jesse Caldwell and Coach Rogue have done a fantastic job the last couple of years. And it's interesting, they already played their first exhibition game. Jim and Dave Ferris went all the way up to Detroit, excuse me. They played a game last week, played one of the best teams in the country, lost 26-0 in that game.
Oh, boy.
They were down 26-0 at halftime. That's the way the game finished. is if that wasn't enough fun for the guys, they have to pack up the car again, head back to Detroit this Saturday for another exhibition game. Dave tells me it's about 10 minutes closer to home than it was last week, and they have another stiff challenge for the Cobras. So they're going to get 2 exhibition games in before the Tri-Point starts. The Federals getting in 1 because of an issue with another team that's no longer playing semi-pro football.
Correct. Yeah. When I talked to John Galbraith last week, he let us know exactly that whoever they had scheduled, I forget who it was, they are not going to be able to field a team. I get the intention, or the idea that it's financial. It's not as easy to get these things funded as people believe. Players don't get paid in semi-pro. It's on the people who run these teams, the owners. Like the Federals actually have a board too, so they've actually got a good thing going at the moment. But it's when I look at the Cobras, that is a well-known semi-pro team who usually has very competitive seasons. They're getting 2 big practices in against other players versus
right.
one.
It's always good to hit a jersey that's a different color and somebody you don't know for a while. And I had a pretty long conversation with the other partner, Matt Lipsack, this afternoon, and I told him, I said, it's semi-pro football. I said, you don't know what you're going to see any given Saturday afternoon. Over the years, I've seen players on the opposing team just pack up their equipment, get in the car, and go home in the middle of the game. I've seen officials be late or not be able to turn the scoreboard on, or there's no key to the press box. Or last year was my absolute favorite. Now, I called football at various levels for 27 years going into last season. I filled in for Jim and coach with Dave Clark and I. We went to the Akron area to call a game last year. There was a kickoff after a touchdown by the Cobras. The player doesn't call for a fair catch. He doesn't field the kickoff. He doesn't touch the kickoff. It hits at about the 12-yard line, rolls 3 yards down the field, closer to the goal line. The kicking team picks up the ball, walks into the end zone, touchdown.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because on a kickoff, unlike a punt, it's a live ball as soon as you kick it. And I don't know if the returner had a brain cramp or just forgot that was the rule, but I believe that ended up being the deciding margin of victory.
That would make sense that a situation like that would do it. And you got a player in semi-pro who at the very least played high school football and, chances maybe some college somewhere, but at the very least 4 years of high school, the basics. It's kind of shocking, and that's got to fall on the coaching staff, in my opinion.
Partially. If you're the returner, you got to know the rules.
You should know by then.
And
agreed.
The majority of the rules in the Tri-Point Football League are that of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, if the NFL makes a rule change, semi-pro leagues are a year or 2 behind that, adjusting to these new rule changes. So,
right.
Timing and all those different things are all based on the NFL. Like you'll see the running clock in the NFL, the 2-minute warning, all of those things are very similar. And you know what? That's the thing. If you're listening and you're like, this is semi-pro football, you just described a play where the guy forgot the ball was live. It's good football.
It is.
It's well played, well coached, high quality football for guys that just don't want to put the pads down.
And that's a beautiful thing, because let me tell you something. I wish I could just say, you know what, man, I feel the itch. I'd like to strap it up and do it. And obviously I have a lot of different situations that I can't, but, you have so many guys that are great players, especially in Ohio and Northeast Ohio, and especially out of the Youngstown area, that have incredible high school careers, maybe just a little too short to get a scholarship anywhere. They don't get many looks, and all of a sudden they're working a job instead of playing ball when other friends are in camp for college. Now they get a shot. I get to play some more, and you're going to see some good ball. And I agree. And, you were talking about calling and seeing different things, or maybe from a different place in different situations. I got to call a semi-pro game with you with the Scourge, and we were on we were on the what do you call those things?
Scaffolding.
The scaffolding, and they had nothing for us to call it in, no box. So they found the scaffolding, and we climbed up there, me, you, and Dave.
And we tested the weight limit that day.
I was just gonna say the weight was definitely up there. It definitely creaked, and they was so hot, and they put some kind of what did they put up there? It was something to cover us from the sun.
Right, we had a little tarp that.
That's what it was.
But
yeah.
The cool part of all that is we interviewed players immediately coming off the field to the dismay of Coach Gessler as we were doing it. But let's be honest, the Scourge won that game, and they won it handily, like they did a lot of games at that time.
They did. That was fabulous.
I saw a Facebook post. This is 9 years that I've had an opportunity to cover semi-pro football in Northeastern Ohio, when Jim asked me to cover call my first Scourge game 9 years ago.
Wow. Congrats.
And we've seen guys go from semi-pro to small college. We've seen guys go from semi-pro to playing professionally overseas.
Yeah.
So there's, like you said, a lot of these guys come straight from college, straight from high school, or maybe they played a year or two of college. So there's a lot of eligibility left out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And, as you mentioned, this can open bigger doors. You have guys making it to Arena League, to Canada, to
it's
Europe.
All about having film.
Yeah, you're going out there, and that you can, still compete. The age range between these players is from 18 to 33. 33 is not an old man, even though I'm sure he gets called grandpa by the players. You're still going to get really good in shape, and then you're getting men who are going to be playing this game. And, when you have that man strength, that man ability, there's going to be some huge hits, and we've seen those through the years.
And we've also seen some guys play into their early to middle 40s over the years, Mr. Craven. I'm talking about you.
That's right. That's right.
Because sometimes the itch is there for a long time. And sometimes you're just happy sitting in the press box and not getting hit, like me.
Yeah, I miss it. I would love to strap it up another season. I would just love to do it another game, but I enjoy what I'm doing too. I don't miss summer camp. That was definitely something that was not fun when I was at YSU. I despised camp, and I'm sure there's a lot of players out there who do college camp or have done it that feel the same way. But, getting the opportunity to keep your dream alive and play just a little bit more is really cool. And we, like you said, the Scourge had some really great players and some big boys, and so there's going to be some very good athletes out there, and we will let you know. We're going to have rosters for both the teams on Saturday, according to the owner of the Federals, who's getting it for us. And so we'll be calling, hopefully, some of the people that you guys know and have watched through the years. So it'll be exciting.
And the best part to me is working with class organizations like the Federals and the Cobras. And, a lot of these teams, you don't need to put a roster together. You don't, because there's not a lot of exposure. So sometimes, other teams are surprised when you say, well, we're going to stream broadcast this game. If you want us to be able to identify your players, we're going to need a roster.
Absolutely. Yep. It'll be fun. So just to let everybody know, we have that game this Saturday again in Alliance, and it will be, I believe the kickoff is 4 or 4:30. I forget which one. I'll let you know for sure we'll let you know on the channel, and I'll post it in all of my different social media. Mark, I want
for the home games.
Oh yeah,
So we'll see what time the road games are.
Oh, okay. Here, I just got this thrown to me right now. Home games, 4:30 p.m. St. Christine's at 3125 South Shenley Avenue, Youngstown, Ohio, 44511. So I would assume if the home games are at 4:30, I believe that this one next week will also, or this weekend will be at 4:30. And you can find everything online for the Mahoning Valley Federals. You can go on Facebook for them. You can go to our Western Reserve Radio.com on Saturday, like I said, and you can go to Channel 2, which is City View Sportscast, and you can listen. So it's going to be fun. But, Mark, I wanted to ask you a question before we start to tie things up here in a couple minutes. The draft, what was your feelings and thought on that?
Well, my team hasn't had a first-round pick in what seems like, 25 years, but because, Cleveland teams can trade away first-round picks. The Cavs haven't had one. The Browns haven't had one. I think the draft is a lot of fun. I don't really see the point of stretching it out over so many days like they do. I know it's for TV.
Yep.
But you know what? All these quarterbacks that went so high in the draft, we'll see how they pan out.
Yeah, the quarterbacks will be interesting. I'm curious what you thought of Harrison ending up out at Arizona.
You know what? I was surprised he fell that far.
Me too.
I was hoping he would have a better quarterback to throw him the ball. I don't really know. I'm not really sold on Kyler Murray, but they did go out and really improve the receiving core for the Cardinals this year. If Murray can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a fantastic pro. I think he's a better route runner in college than his dad was, and we'll see how he develops on the pro level.
Yeah, I agree. And, I don't want to bring up old pains, but, if it wasn't for that cheap shot against Georgia, Ohio State would have won that game for sure. So that's all I'm going to say. Tommy Eichenberg, absolutely lights out linebacker for years for the Buckeyes, ending up in the black and silver.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be curious. Tommy, to me, he's kind of a tweener for the NFL level. He's not big enough to be a linebacker. He's not small enough to be a safety. He's kind of that hybrid that can do a little bit of both. So it'll be interesting to see how Eichenberg develops at the pro level.
How about some of the other Ohio State players that right off the top of your head that jump out at you? That
you know what? I'm interested. The Browns drafted Hall in the second round, and he's a high motor guy that, again, I think is a little undersized for his position on the line. But it's not about, being big. It's not about a Vince Wilfork guy like that anymore on the line. It's more about quickness and off the ball speed. So we'll see how he does at the next level.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And, some good Notre Dame players getting on some good teams. Pittsburgh, I thought, had an excellent draft. So I'm excited to see how that they do. I hope things work out for the Browns, man. I really do. Unless you're playing us, Mr. Means.
We'll find out. We open up with the Cowboys week 1.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, Mark. We'll see you next time, brother.
You got it.
All right. That is Mark Means. I'm Matt Emsch. This is Just Football. We'll be right back, everybody.
Cryptid Creatures. Find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. Hi, it's Brian. Join me and my co-host Todd as we investigate those things that go bump in the night. We'll talk to real people who have had real face-to-face encounters.
There's 2 of them across the creek at the big rocks.
With cryptid beings. From Bigfoot to aliens to even demons. By the end, you'll be asking, do I believe? Cryptid Creatures. Find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you tired of settling for mediocre wings at sky-high prices? Belleria Niles has some of the best wing prices in Trumbull County, with 12 wings for $10 with over 15 flavors to choose from. Mention this show, Just Football with Matt Emsch, with your order and receive a free cheese puff until January 31st. Belleria at 602 Robbins Avenue, Niles, Ohio. 330-544-FOOD. That's 330-544-FOOD. Belleria, we sell taste one bite at a time.
Do you crave mysteries? Are you fascinated by the unexplained? Then summon your courage and plunge into the deep, dark abyss of what lurks beneath. A YouTube channel that dives into the unexplained, the supernatural, eyewitness reports, and more. The real question is, can you handle the truth? Simply search What Lurks Beneath on YouTube, if you think you're brave enough.
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
And welcome back to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emsch. We are going to go right to the lines. We have Coach Doms of the Federals, the head coach man himself. Coach, how are you, sir? I'm good this evening, man. You guys? Up one sec, Coach. All right, we got you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we did. We had a wrong button on today. So I had a wire loose at the beginning of the show, and then right there I hit the wrong button. Shows you I had a week off because everything was so busy. We'll get her going, though. How's everything going with the players, Coach?
Well, we're boiling down. The last month of April, we had scrimmages every week. We traveled out to the Ohio Gladiators and Alliance twice, 2 weeks in a row. Then we skipped a week with some rest. Then we went out to West Virginia to Leviathan. We're just getting as much work in as possible, man. I can say the players, we're okay. Building continuity, building brotherhood. Just a few other things to work on. We're a really young group. Other than that, I feel like the players we're in a good space. Mentally, we're in a good space.
Well, that's definitely something you want to hear. Definitely, with June 1st looming closely in the distance. But this weekend, you have a scrimmage against the Gladiators.
Yes, sir.
Obviously don't want to, in a scrimmage, you don't really got to worry too much about a specific game plan. But what can we expect? Anybody that goes to the game or listens here to us calling the scrimmage, what should they expect out of the Federals and Gladiators this weekend?
Well, I would say they're going to get a really good game. One thing's for sure, I'm going to give the Gladiators their flowers. They are the champions. Scrimmaging them guys, you can tell they're experienced. They've been in the league a while. I can say I would expect a lot. I would expect a lot of throwing, a lot of passing, speed, a lot of hard hitting. I'm excited to get the team out, but I can say I'm gonna give the Gladiators their flowers. I don't get into wins and losses, but it's gonna be a good look for us. Me personally, what I'm looking for is growth in the offense. See how where we putting it together as far as the last 2 months since March. I would definitely expect to see a hard hitting football game. Good Iron Man football game. Like I said, the Glads are really good, and I believe in our team now.
Well, that's beautiful coming from you and me being an ex-player and coach and doing what I do here. I know how it is when you've been training for a while. What happens is you start to get sick and tired of hitting each other. Our guys got to be excited not only to be hitting someone else, but to be hitting the defending champions who are going to give you a good idea of where you guys are.
Yeah, that's true. That's one thing when I was looking for scrimmages. I called the toughest teams, man. I'm willing to, I got the confidence in my team that we can go against anybody in the league. I am going to say that. I won't get into who we can beat, this, that, or the other, but I can't say any team that's on our schedule, any team that, that's around in this area, I'm willing to say that we'll go toe-to-toe with and compete with, for sure.
Now, if someone goes to the game or, again, listens here on westernreserveradio.com, what is the game plan? I mean, let me take that back. Specifically, in your opinion right now, where are you guys the strongest? What are you seeing as a coach with your coaching staff? Part one of the question, what you guys think you're doing extremely well at the moment, offensively, defensively, and then what you guys really need to work on, vice versa.
Okay. I would say defensively, I would say we're fast, we're nasty, we're young, athletic. So I would say defense. Defense is we're going to get a lot of turnovers on defense. So if I was to give a grade for the defense through scrimmages and up to this point, I would give them an A minus. Um, the offense, I'm going to give the offense an A minus as well. We've been kind of working without the offensive line at practices, but we've been building some with the skill guys. So I can say our offense is there. From last year, we've already put up triple his touchdowns. So we're definitely going to see the end zone. So I would definitely give the offense an A minus. What I'm looking for is one thing's for sure as a head coach. I want to see where we are mentally. That's where I want to see. I want to see where we are mentally through the trenches. Can we take a blow from any team and pull back in? When you're dealing with younger guys and not so much of we don't have a lot of older guys, but the older guys we have are experienced. So we got the younger guys. We got to I want to make sure that they're mentally locked in for 4 quarters. Other than that, I'm just ready to start the season. But I would definitely say both offense and defense are strong points this season. Both.
I love hearing that. I love hearing you mention the big pigs because that's what I played in high school and college. I'm going to go back to the offensive line in a second. How about that third phase of the game, number 3, the special teams? How are they looking?
I'm going to say special teams right now is rough. Special teams is rough right now. If I can give a grade on special teams, I'm just going to give it a C. The thing is, I notice about semi-pro is no one really likes special teams. It is not their favorite thing to do.
Right.
But I would say right now, the thought process is making sure that I get my strongest guys in for a field position. So at this point, it's making sure that we put the right guys in. But special teams are right now, coach. I'm gonna give a C. I'm gonna give a C plus.
Okay. Hey, you got to be honest. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
that's one thing I will be, coach. I'll be really, really honest about our team.
But hey, honesty is how you get better, I mean, and as long as they understand, regardless if you don't want to go out and do it, I played offensive line in college, both ways in high school. I wasn't a fan when I had to go out there on extra points or anything, thankfully, because I was a big guy on the line. I didn't have to do much special teams. It's not the most fun, but as being the third phase, part of that happy recipe, so to speak, it's just as important as offense or defense, so they got to get it going there.
Sorry again. Say that again, coach.
I was saying, just as the part of that happy recipe of a game plan, you have to have that third phase of the game, regardless if you don't want to do it or not. It has to be just as good on the up as the other 2 sides of the ball.
That's absolutely true. Like last year, that was the worst. After, we only had 13, 14 guys. And on top of that, we had to play special teams. We really lost the special teams last year at the beginning of the games. Like, our defense held it down. Our front 7 was strong, really, really strong. But when it comes to special teams, up to this point, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give it just to see it. We'll see how it works out as the season waves down.
Well, I wish you right there the best. I hope the guys, pick up on how important that is, because one bad play on special teams could be, the catalyst that loses a game for you. So you're dealing with older players. I'm sure that they'll pick it up there. Now, moving back to my favorite area of the field, that small area where the meanest gameplay is, the line of scrimmages. And I hear in the background, you're at practice right now. That's a great backdrop. You guys are busting your butt on a warm day. Offensive line speaking, what do they look like? Who are we talking about? What's the size range like for your offense?
I think our size range is about 325? 325 plus, yeah. I would say our line is about 325 plus each player. Each player ranges about, I'm going to say 6 foot tall, 325.
Okay.
We are strong at line. I feel like we have the experience there. We got a few guys from last year that are here. I would say if I would give our line, I'm gonna give our line. I'm gonna give them a B plus. I'm gonna give them a B plus. There's some things we still need to work out with assignments, with our plays, but other than that, man, our offensive line is we're really solid. I believe in them.
I love hearing that. And you got to believe in your offensive line. That's a good size, 6 feet, 6'1", 300 something pounds. Guys are shorter, a little shorter, get under the pads and get, everything you need to get done on the line. And I like you giving them a B, Coach, because you're never good enough. There's always room for improvement, no matter if you win player of the game. So I like hearing that. Flipping the side of the ball, defensive line. What's the D line look like?
Our defensive line is amazing. I'm gonna speak up for my defensive end, George Freeman. He's fast, man. His first steps are like 3 yards. We have experience. They're fast. We're strong. Our front line is strong. I like it, man. Our defensive lineman is there. They're fast. You'll see that. You'll see that in games. Our defensive end is so fast. He's able to over pursue and get back into play. He's fast, man. He's an amazing athlete.
I love it. In fact, I know that, and I'm hearing through my headphones, you got somebody there to talk to us. Who did you bring with you today to speak with us?
I brought one of our star receivers, Walden Ali. He's from this area, Trumbull County.
Okay.
I've known him through little league all the way through high school. He is an amazing athlete. He's smart, really smart in IQ, and he's one of my captains.
I'd love to speak with him.
Absolutely. What's up?
How we doing?
Good, sir. How are you? Welcome. I was looking forward to whoever Coach set to talk with us today. I love the fact you're a Trumbull County boy. Harding, is that where you went?
Nah, I didn't. I wanted to go to Harding, but I wasn't allowed. I went to LeBray.
Okay. Well, LeBray is a great high school. I've been calling high school football games for years. I've called a number of games for them. What year did you graduate?
2019.
Okay, so then I did call some of your games, and I do remember your name. You were one of the best players in the Trumbull County area.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. You guys had some good seasons there, good coaches. Talking about the switch that you've made from obviously when you were playing high school, did you go anywhere collegiately for a little bit and play?
I did go. I attended Lake Erie College for 2 years, and then I decided that wasn't the route for me and stepped down and then stepped into the semi-pro world.
Okay, I love it. And now looking at the semi-pro world versus, your short stint in college and then in high school, how would you compare it? Like, is it anything similar or is it completely different?
So really being honest with you, completely different. When I came in here, I wasn't even knowing what to expect. Came in here, wasn't nothing like how programs that I've been in was ran. It's just you playing with grown people now. Like they not taking orders from everybody. They ain't gonna listen to you. They grown. They do what they want. So it was a complete change for me, but I kind of adapted to it and became one with semi-pro.
I love that. Now, looking at the players around you, I got the grades from Coach, and I like it. I'm going to be there with my partner on Saturday calling that scrimmage. We're going to get a really good look at all you guys. But what's your opinion, being a player, being one of the captains, of the guys on your team? What do you think about this group?
This group, it's something special. The league don't even know what's going to hit them this year. We got some weapons on our team, and people haven't even seen because we have yet to come together as one. We got so many weapons that's still making their way here that no one's seen. It's just going to be dangerous. It's dangerous for everybody.
Now, you being a captain, obviously, how many other captains are there?
In counting myself, there is 5 of us.
Okay, 5 of you. So you guys have been split up to, take on a huge responsibility of stepping in for the coaches and pulling the team up. If you were to sit back kind of in a coach's role, not even the captain's role. Step into coach's shoes for a minute. What would your opinion be? And you're not going to insult anybody if you say you need to work. Listen, we're at scrimmage time. There's a lot of work to be done with the team. Where would you personally, if you were a coach right now, say you guys needed to work the hardest at?
What I say that I got two things I say. Like I would go right back to as the coach said. Our special teams needs work. That's a given. Special teams can win or lose games. That's
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows that. And then my second play also our DBs, our corners. They're getting better each week. Every practice they're getting better, but their coverages be a little iffy here and there. A lot of holding that's just not necessary. So I think the DBs can use some more work, most definitely.
Now, how about that most important part of your game recipe, so to speak, the guy that's going to be flipping you the ball? How is your relationship with your quarterback? How is that working out on the field?
Oh man, coming in when he first came in, it was a little rocky with me and him not knowing each other. He just hearing everybody talking about how good I was. He ain't see it for himself. So it was a lot of I had to prove myself to him. But then we got past that, and our relationship couldn't be any better, honestly.
That's the way you do it. I would assume, having the knowledge you have from high school and in college, you guys meet when you're not practicing and you're trying to get things even better when you don't even have mandatory practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to do it for sure. What number are you, son?
I'll be repping 81, back to my high school number.
I love it, and absolutely remember you from your high school days, and we're looking forward to calling the game on Saturday. If there's anything that you could say representing as a captain and for the entire team to all of the Valley, to other people in different states that are listening right now about what they're going to get to see when the Mahoning Valley Federals put their cleats on and enter the field, what can you say about that?
I'm going to say you're going to see a ticking time bomb ready to go off. Fireworks every single time you see the Federal step on the field.
Excellent. I love it. Well, good luck this Saturday. Please give Coach my best regards and tell everybody we are just looking forward to calling the game on Saturday. Good luck, and thank you for speaking with us.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
All right, 81, take care. Telling you. All right, brother. Thank you. It is looking great for the Mahoning Valley Federals. They got some excitement going on. The coach is giving great grades. Their captains are biting at the bit. We'll be right back on Just Football, everybody.
Are you tired of settling for mediocre wings at sky-high prices? Belleria Niles has some of the best wing prices in Trumbull County, with 12 wings for $10 with over 15 flavors to choose from. Mention this show, Just Football with Matt Emsch, with your order and receive a free cheese puff until January 31st. Belleria at 602 Robbins Avenue, Niles, Ohio. 330-544-FOOD. That's 330-544-FOOD. Belleria, we sell taste one bite at a time.
Do you crave mysteries? Are you fascinated by the unexplained? Then summon your courage and plunge into the deep, dark abyss of what lurks beneath. A YouTube channel that dives into the unexplained, the supernatural, eyewitness reports, and more. The real question is, can you handle the truth? Simply search What Lurks Beneath on YouTube, if you think you're brave enough.
In the Valley, football is king, and the Mahoning Valley Federals are looking to build the 2024 roster with talent forged in this area to compete for a Tri-Point Football League championship. If you're 18 and older and looking to return to the gridiron, call General Manager John Galbraith at 330-540-1099 or visit the team on Facebook at Mahoning Valley Federals Developmental Football. The Mahoning Valley Federals, honoring the football tradition in the Valley. From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
And welcome back to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Imps. We have Matt Lipsack on the line, but real quick, I wanted to clean something up, a mistake I made. It's not going to be Channel 2 on Saturday on Western Reserve Radio. It will be on City View, on the City View Sportscast. If you go to westernreserveradio.com, you'll see that City View Sportscast logo, and you click on that, and it will take you to explain everything about it. Double header Saturday on westernreserveradio.com. The Cobras versus the number 1 Detroit Ravens at 6:30 p.m. pregame, 7 p.m. kickoff, and then again in Alliance at Marlington Stadium, 4:30 p.m. and I believe is the time of the game. And we are going to be calling Matt Lipsack and and we have Matt on the line. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm very excited getting ready, Matt. I wanted to let you know this. I don't know if you were listening a little bit earlier. We have video as well for the games this season with the Federals. We have another gentleman who is going to be streaming Facebook Live video. We don't have those silly OHSAA rules that stop us from video. Just so happens he is named Matt as well. So the Matt, and now Matt show is going to be just blowing off. Maybe that's good luck for the Federals.
I mean, it is perhaps the greatest name on the planet. It is a scientific fact.
I agree with you. You can't go wrong. Means gift from God, actually. So,
yes, it does.
So we have that times 3. Matt, first time you and I are going to be back together since round 3 of the OHSAA playoffs when Mineral Ridge unfortunately lost. And we are going to be having a great game. You're going to have the defending champions, Ohio Gladiators, playing against the Mahoning Valley Federals. First time rookie Mahoning Valley Federals opening up a scrimmage against defending champs.
Yeah, sounds like we're in for some good football. Out this way, not that long of a road trip for me this time.
Yeah, it's going to be close. There's going to be a number of games actually that are going to be in your neck of the woods. You and our own not Mark Myers. That's one of my ex teammates, Mark Means, and you are going to be splitting up play calling time. So, it's going to be exciting regardless who is doing the play calling. I'm just excited that you were free enough that you were able to say yes about the Federals. How do you feel about that? I mean, we got a season before a season, going to get us ready for high school as well.
It's been 6 months. I mean, for you, I mean, for me, I kept busy with the Youngstown Phantoms.
Right.
So, I'm still in broadcasting shape, but you've had 6 months off. We got to get you through training camp or something.
Yeah. Well, this will be my training camp for sure. And, speaking of the Phantoms, we always, when we have you on, this is just football, but, we are also the official radio station for the Phantoms. We're darn proud of that. And the Phantoms, great franchise, had a great season. We won't go into that too deep. I know it's a deep wound right now, but real quick for our listeners tonight, maybe if they weren't listening last time we were on, season that the Phantom had, in your opinion, and how it ended.
I mean, Phantoms ran into a hot playoff goaltender in Kevin Ray there of the Dubuque Fighting Saints, who are now down 2-0 in the Clark Cup final to the Fargo Force. Game 3 of that best-of-5 series will be this Friday night in Dubuque as the Fighting Saints try to keep their championship hopes alive. But frankly, I think Fargo is going to pull the trick that they did, or that the Phantoms did to them last year, and we're going to see a sweep in the championship series. Fargo has just been an absolute wagon this year. I really don't see Dubuque putting up too much of a fight against the Fargo Force this weekend.
And it's interesting, and I'm going to look into that. What's interesting to me is I brought this up last time with you is, you got all these programs coming out of the Dakotas. North Dakota State winning its program in 1AA, now FCS level Division I football, won more championships than any other university in history. And then, just by the way, their rival, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, the others are the Bison. The Jackrabbits, two-time defending national champ FCS, and then all of a sudden you have your hockey brethren that are just tearing it up as well. What is in the water in those Dakotas?
I don't know, but could maybe do with a little bit of it, not too much, but
Right. We do our own thing here in the way we are. Trust me, I know you're down. I said this last time, and I was brokenhearted, that they lost, more so for you. I heard it in your voice, and I still hear it. It's a deep wound you don't expect. Losing is never something you want. I've been on both sides of the championships and losing and a championship, and it just doesn't get swallowed easy. It's something you'll probably never forget either. But what it does is it builds extreme character. Those players from this year are not going to forget what happened. As Jim Tressel taught us when I was at YSU, sometimes you can learn more from a loss than you can from a big win. And loss is a thing that makes teams extremely hungry and angry about next year. So what do you see for that franchise next year? Do you see good things?
Well, you see, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think, what the Phantoms identified was they were maybe missing some size on defense, a little bit of size on the blue line. And so they went out and they drafted quite a few very tall, very mean defensemen based on the scouting reports.
Beautiful.
I heard a couple of the guys described as the kind who will put you through the glass and then stand over you and stare down at you.
I love it. That sounds like football players there. And let's be honest, it's football on skates. That's a beautiful thing. So taking away from what happened in the playoffs this year and looking at plugging in said players, do you think that they could be that missing cog of what maybe would have brought you guys back to another championship this year?
I mean, I think absolutely. I think we've added some goal scoring as well. Phantoms got bit by the injury bug a little bit this year. And so, we were the youngest team in the USHL. So a lot of those young players got to see expanded minutes and expanded roles and are going to be that much the better for the experience coming around next year. I mean, believe it or not, selection camp to see who makes it to training camp is only a month away. You don't get that much of an off season.
No.
Obviously, the off season much shorter last year when the Phantoms were playing until May 19th, but this year you're going to get at least better part of 2 months off before main camp starts down at Prince Cape Arena in Cannonsburg. So, I like our chances with Ryan Ward at the helm. The guy knows what he's doing. Our general managers are absolutely wizards. And so, yeah, I always like our chances. I do. I like our chances.
I love hearing that. Let's be honest. The fact that the season is just to start, not just the season, I apologize. Training is getting ready to start so soon is actually beneficial because those wounds are still not going to be healed when they start training. So they're going to be remembering. Yeah.
They're going to be hungry.
I agree. Well, I look forward to next season with the Phantoms. Let's move up to the next level of the NHL. They are in the midst of a playoff series too. You want to give everybody an update what's going on with the NHL?
So out in the Western Conference, Dallas Stars have a 3-1 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Vancouver Canucks and Edmonton Oilers knotted up at 2 games apiece. In the East, Florida leads Boston 3-2, and New York leads Carolina 3-2. But New York has led that series 3-0, and Carolina has won the last 2. Game 6 will be in Raleigh. I want to say tonight, Matt.
Avalanche
I'm almost
Stars. Let's see, tonight, 8 p.m.
Is it just the Avalanche? Okay, just the Avalanche Stars tonight. So Game 6 between the Rangers and Hurricanes is tomorrow. But
yeah.
Dallas with the opportunity to move on to the Western Conference Final tonight. I said, I don't know if Dallas has been in the Western Conference Final since their Stanley Cup win back in I want to say it was the late 90s.
Yeah, and it's good to see some teams in there that aren't, usually in there. You look at the Rangers, and they have a player who got a big award there as what was it the top leader in the
Jacob Trouba won the Mark Messier Leadership Award.
That's what it is. Thank you.
I'll just go ahead and scratch my head at that.
You don't think he deserved it?
I think he's a very dirty hockey player and shouldn't be given any sort of leadership award, but that's just my opinion.
Well, let's be honest, Matt. I mean, that is not my forte. I've made it very clear. Mark Means is funny too. If anybody ever said, and Mark's been asked, hey, you want to give a try to calling hockey? Mark said, heck no, I don't want nothing to do with it. I wouldn't know what to do. I like the sport. When the Penguins are doing well, that's when I watch it. If they're not in, I don't. So we're so impressed with you and how well you do. That's what makes you such a great play caller in football. But you're also extremely knowledgeable, in what's going on with the NHL. That's why I asked you to give us a little rundown. If he, in your opinion, and let's be honest, and I'm just going to say this too, if you have somebody that is doing that type of thing, if that's the kind of play he is known for, who should have won that, in your opinion, if you could have given that award out to someone else?
I mean, honestly, I didn't see who the finalists for the award were, but I mean, just as far as leadership goes in the NHL, you're going to look to, I guess, two different places. You're going to look to your stars, and then you're going to look to your community leaders. And honestly, I can't speak to any of that for the individual teams in the NHL. I just know that Jacob Trouba is a less than shining example of at least how play should be conducted on the ice.
I agree with you, and that's the way it should be conducted. Who do we got in the background again?
We have Alexis Rose, who looks like she's maybe going to be getting in the bathtub.
Well, they'll give her a little hug for me. I love when we hear them, your kids in the background. Matt, we got, let's see, about 2 minutes left. Looking at these teams that are in the playoffs right now, I mean, you got Dallas leading their series 3-1. You got the Rangers leading 3-2. The Oilers and Canucks are tied 2-2. Panthers and Bruins, Florida leads that 3-2. If you could right now, out of those groups, who would you pick that just off the top of your head right now would be the best team maybe to pull off a championship run?
I mean, honestly, the way that they looked up until the last two games, I would have said the Rangers. They looked nigh unbeatable, but the Hurricanes have made them look very, very human the last two games. You obviously never want to count out the Edmonton Oilers as long as they have Connor McDavid on the ice. Dallas is putting it together with a lineup of relatively young stars, and don't touch the thoughts. We don't want to hang up on Matt. Dallas is putting it together with young stars, and I mean, not like high quality goaltending, but the netminders for Dallas are really putting it together right now. Florida's gonna try to hold off a charge here from Boston because Jeremy Swayman has been very good in net for the Bruins, but Sergei Bobrovsky just been a little bit better for the Panthers.
Okay, so who would you see? So again, you're picking who to win it all again?
Honestly, it may be Edmonton's year. This may be the year that the Stanley Cup returns to Canada.
Okay, well, hey, you heard it here, folks. That's Matt Lipsack.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you? But
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil. $15 is the best I can do. You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Experience nature's bounty with Creation's Backyard. Elevate your health with the most nutrient-dense foods on earth. From farm to table, sustainably cultivated with care. Grown locally in Niles, Ohio with no chemicals or synthetics ever. Unlock your culinary creativity with Creation Backyard Microgreens. Convenient local delivery and pickup options available. Order now at creationsbackyard.com or call 330-282-7208.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
A flat tire would really make this road trip better. Said no one ever. That's why Big Tires and More Tire Pros makes taking care of your tires simpler. They offer a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes a hassle-free experience and major brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Big Tires and More Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed. Visit our new location in Lutz or find out more at bigtiresandmore.com.
In the following broadcast do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Sports Radio America, its principal, or affiliates.
Welcome back to the Uncommon Radio Special featuring Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy, author of the new book titled Uncommon, Finding Your Path to Significance. If you'd like more information on Tony Dungy and his new book Uncommon, visit daretobeuncommon.org. There you can watch Tony's new video interview, Dare to Be Uncommon. Read what people are saying about Tony and his strong faith in God. Sign up for Tony's podcast and read Coach Dungy's blog. It's all at daretobeuncommon.org. In just a few minutes, we'll hear a powerful speech by Tony given at an Athletes in Action event the morning before Super Bowl 40. That's coming up. Uncommon reveals lessons in achieving significance that Tony learned from his parents, his athletic and coaching careers, his mentors, and his journey with God. The book particularly focuses on what it means to be a man of significance in a culture that is offering young men few positive role models. Our young men today are falling into a trap, says Tony Dungy. Society is telling them material success is what's important. But if we buy into that idea, we can spend a lifetime chasing that success and never really having the positive impact on people that would make our lives truly significant. Many of you have read Tony Dungy's memoir, Quiet Strength, which was released in 2007. It held the top spot on the New York Times bestsellers list and impacted countless lives. Quiet Strength is one of the best-selling sports-related titles in history. Well, we sat down with Tony Dungy and asked him about his latest book, Uncommon, and what the title refers to.
It actually came from a saying that my college coach used to say, and he said, success is uncommon, therefore not to be enjoyed by the common man. And he always used to tell us, I'm looking for uncommon people. And that's where we thought about it. And it just seems like in this day and age, we have so many people that are just going down the path that everyone else is going down, doing the things everyone else is doing. And I don't know that's what we're called to do. So that would be my message in the book to people, that we don't have to do the ordinary. We can step out of that comfort zone. There's a great line in the Bible. Christ says, enter through the narrow gate, because wide is the gate and broad is the highway that leads to destruction. And many people find it. But narrow is the gate, small is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. So that was kind of the theme of this, that don't do what everyone else is doing necessarily. Investigate and do it in a little different way, a little uncommon way.
Uncommon is truly a message from Tony Dungy's heart, one that speaks to a man's deepest longing, a desire for significance. It's a book that's very different from his last book, Quiet Strength.
My heart, since writing Quiet Strength, has really been focused on young men. I got so many calls and cards and letters from 18, 19, 20-year-old boys who said, boy, I really got a lot from your story, and I'm dealing with this issue or that issue. And I thought it would be nice to write something directly to those questions and talk to young people about what it really means to set your life in a certain direction and having goals and what you want to do in life. And it's just something, as we see more and more statistics about our country and where we're going in terms of education, where we're going in terms of crime, that I think we need a different direction, especially for our young men.
At the end of the day, Tony is sure of one thing. The lessons that the world offers, such as accumulating titles, money, and stuff, these are wrong values to pursue. Fitting in with the crowd and being common isn't what God intended for you. There's more in store for your life. The key is living an uncommon life, as one man experienced for himself.
It was a cold Buffalo morning, January 3rd, 1993. On this particular day, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, Frank Reich, had readied himself for a drive to Rich Stadium, where he was to start his first NFL playoff game. The Bills would play against the Houston Oilers in an AFC wildcard game. As the windows of his car were defrosting, he listened to a song he had heard perhaps 100 times that week. The song was In Christ Alone.
In Christ alone, I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone.
As Frank Reich sat and listened, instead of heading for the game, he stopped and listened to the song again, and then again. Finally, he pulled a tablet from his playbook and wrote down the words. He would later say that he sensed God telling him that somehow he would share that song with someone on this momentous day. Midway through the third quarter, Frank Reich and his Buffalo Bills were losing badly, 35-3. Down 5 touchdowns with less than 20 minutes to play, this game was essentially over. But Frank Reich remembered the words to the song he had burned into his heart and soul just hours earlier. Then would come the first touchdown for the Bills, then another and another. In what many analysts and reporters would later say was the greatest comeback in NFL history, Frank Reich led his Buffalo Bills to a 41-38 overtime win against an insurmountable Houston Oilers lead. Following the game, as he stood behind the podium before a mass of media, reporters, and newspapers at the post-game press conference, he was asked how he was able to accomplish such a comeback. Before he would answer any reporter's questions, Frank Reich reached down for his playbook and opened it to the page where he wrote down the lyrics of the song In Christ Alone. There, before millions of fans on television and radio, standing in front of a sea of reporters, Frank Reich read the words of the song that spoke to his heart so powerfully.
In Christ alone, I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone. I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone.
Frank says, I think of how the song inspired me today. I get even more excited about how it can encourage and inspire others whose trials are much more difficult than those I face on a football field. My hope and prayer is that people everywhere will find Jesus as their source of strength and their source of hope. A month later, Frank Reich and the Buffalo Bills would reach the Super Bowl. This story of faith and devotion will be forever remembered as a story of uncommon victory for an uncommon man.
You're listening to the Uncommon Radio Special featuring Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy, author of the new book titled Uncommon, Finding Your Path to Significance. And we'll be right back.